going in the tunnel now, but the only thing is we're not allowed to bring anything. We crossed the Unification Bridge and we are now officially in the DMZ zone. It's a line between North Korea and South Korea. What's up everyone? It's Ryan. We are here in Seoul, South Korea, and today we are going to North Korea. Not really, but we're actually going to the DMZ. So we're going on a DMZ tour today. It's about 9 a.m. here. I'm going to meet up with the tour group. I have to walk to the bus station and it's pretty much a full day tour. We gotta drive up to the DMZ area and we're gonna get as close as you physically can to North Korea without actually going into North Korea. Now, if you don't know already, the DMZ is the Demilitarized Zone here between South Korea and North Korea, where they basically said nobody owns either of this place, but nobody's allowed to go in between it. Kind of like a peace area. So we're gonna go check that area out because one day I'm gonna be going to North Korea. It's about a 15-20 minute walk from where I'm staying. As you can see, I'm like right in the downtown area, an area called Myeongdong, which seemed to be one of the more popular areas to visit. So I got a Airbnb right close to that area because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's actually crazy how many buses there are here though. Like, I don't think I've seen this many buses anywhere in the world. I'm hoping I'll get to see my boy Kim while I'm up there, but who knows? It's Tuesday, so he might have some work he has to do or something, I don't know. So we're here in the Myeongdong district now. So you can see there's a lot of different signs and stuff. And this road is usually pretty busy in the evening. So it's kind of funny to see it this dead in the morning. All right, found the guide, headed to the bus.
Is connecting to the West Sea.
We made it to the DMZ area, Imjingak Peace Park, stop number 1. Okay, yeah, so we're at the Imjingak Peace Park right now, which is the first stop, and we just got our little tour from our tour guide, and now we got like some free time. We got about an hour, actually a little bit longer than that in total, like an hour and a half, but in about 45 minutes there's an optional activity you can join, and it's for, I think that she called it a North Korean defectant, who's basically someone who lived in North Korea and fled North Korea, and now they're basically kind of telling their story and what it was like. So it was an optional thing that we could go to if we wanted to, but we didn't have to. But I feel like while I'm here, I might as well, and kind of would be cool to hear a story from someone who actually lived there. Because like I said, I think it would be cool one day to go to North Korea. I know it's pretty hard to, and all that stuff, but I'm planning to go everywhere, so I want to check it out. So with that being said, I'm gonna just explore the area a little bit and check out some of the stuff here. She showed us a few things and kind of explained what it was and what the significance of it was. But I got about 45 minutes, gonna get something to eat as well. After that, we'll head to the second spot. Looks like I found the Peace Bell here. And it is cool because they have a lot of like monuments and stuff that's about unification and bringing things together. She even was saying that like a lot of the South Koreans, they still want to be united with the North Koreans and be together as one, because you know they speak the same language as the North Koreans, they look the same, like they're just being separated by political stuff. You can see over here all the buses here, there's so many different tours here. She said there was 46 of us on the tour that I'm on in our bus, and there's got to be at least 50 buses or so here. So they're definitely making money off of this whole thing, because it was about $55 US to do the tour. And over here they actually have a carnival with like rides and stuff. Doesn't look like it's open right now, but the fact that they have that here is kind of funny as well. And I think I saw that like you could stay in like a hostel or some sort nearby as well. I think it's possible though in our lifetime to see the unification of North Korea and South Korea. I mean, I feel like you can never say never, and it would be really cool to see them come back together and be united as one. And yeah, so she was explaining this gondola I mentioned earlier, and it goes to what I believe is like a US base. The US set up, and now it's more of like a tourist place you can go check out. But it sounded like the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go across that bridge far over there. That's where we actually have to show our passports and stuff to the military, just so they know everyone who's pretty much going into the actual DMZ area. So yeah, we're still quite a ways from North Korea, I think. We're gonna be just getting closer and closer, which is kind of exciting. There's not too much else to see in this spot. Gonna get some food and then go meet that North Korean lady and kind of hear her story. That should be really interesting. So I think we're here at the Peace Park. This is the train that used to exist. And we're gonna be going over this bridge. I could be totally wrong, I have no idea. Going into the North Korea Experience Hall. Go meet a North Korean. Make it into the exhibition hall. I got some souvenirs and replicas, guns and stuff. And then the speaker's gonna be over here is what it sounds like. Ah, right here, I think. That's where she's gonna speak.
So they said, if you go to China, you can earn money a lot. So yes, so that's why she decided to defect.
All right, just finished up the meeting with the North Korean defector. That was a cool experience, getting to kind of hear her story. Wasn't able to really record too much, but just kind of hearing what life was like for her there and now what it's like now and the differences. It's pretty crazy. It doesn't sound, I mean, it's livable, but it's definitely not, you know, very free. But now we're gonna head back to the bus and then we're headed to stop number 2. We crossed the Unification Bridge and we are now officially in the DMZ zone. So we're getting closer and closer to North Korea. We got a bit of a climb up this hill to this observation building, I guess, because the other one is closed now. She was explaining on the bus that about 7-8 months ago, North Korea was sending balloons filled with trash over to South Korea, so that created some tension. So they had to close some of the tourist spots.
70%
North Korea over there.
mountainous the Korea Peninsula. So when you visit Korea, everywhere we have like beautiful mountain. 70% like the Korea Peninsula.
So we're just inside of the Dora Observatory now, which is where you can get like the best view of North Korea. They don't want you taking any pictures or videos. You used to be able to take pictures here, but 8 months ago, North Korea was like sending balloons with a bunch of trash and stuff. And that created a bunch of tension between North Korea and South Korea because the North Koreans, I guess, could see all the tourists and stuff. I don't know. So yeah, they just basically don't want people taking videos and pictures anymore. But you're able to get a pretty good look of like where the border is. There's the North Korean village and the South Korean village. Each one's supposed to be like a peace village of some sort. I've heard a couple tour guides talking about like this propaganda village that the North Koreans built, which is supposed to be look like it's super nice, but in reality, I guess it's not at all. Like the windows are fake, like they were painted on or something. I don't know exactly, but it's pretty trippy seeing this stuff in person and looking through the window and like not even 5 kilometers away is North Korea. But like I said, in the future, I'm gonna try to go there. So be on the lookout for that video. Probably not anytime soon, but maybe 10 years, who knows? See, they got this little viewing area. And then, yeah, you're not supposed to really record out the windows here. And I don't really want to go to jail, so I don't know how far I want to test those limits. I think we have another like 10-15 minutes here, and then we go to spot 3, which I believe is the tunnels, which should be cool. I guess the North Koreans built like upwards of like 15 tunnels to like do like sneak attacks or something. The South Koreans found like 3 or 4 of them so far, but yeah, they believe that there's still quite a few that they're trying to find. So we get to go to the 3rd one and see what that's like, and I think that's where we're gonna get to be the closest possible to North Korea without actually being in North Korea. And I feel like I have to take everything that they're saying with a little bit of a grain of salt, because of course they have a perspective on it that I'm sure is a lot different than, you know, other people out the world. So not just totally believing 100% everything they say, but doing some critical thinking myself. They also got a cafe up here, which is cool. You can get some snacks and stuff. Nice little building. Of course they make it as nice as possible because they know there's gonna be a lot of tourists here though. All right, we're leaving the Dora Observatory now and we're headed to the tunnels. Let's go into the tunnels, the secret tunnels. And if you can hear the speakers, she was saying that they play like different South Korean like K-pop and other stuff, and they try to project it over to North Korea, and it projects like upwards of like 25 kilometers in the hopes that the North Koreans can hear and like know that there's more out here. than just North Korea. All right, we just made it to the tunnel area. They say this is the third tunnel. Maybe I think this is the third tunnel they found. That's why they call it the third tunnel. And I guess it's pretty big on the South Korea side, but once you get to the North Korea side, it's like just over 5 feet tall. So it won't be very easy, but we'll get through it.
We discovered the tunnel this road in 1978 by the Kim Do-sung, North Korean defector.
We're going in the tunnel now, but the only thing is we're not allowed to bring anything. Like I can't even bring my camera, let alone not allowed to record, so won't be able to get too much of the tunnel itself, but I'll find some pictures or something to show you guys so you can get a rough idea. That map kind of depicts what it looks like too. And then I'll give my analysis afterwards. Walking in here. Looks like that's the way you have to put a helmet on because it's not very tall. Some guards, fake guards. And then yeah, we have to leave all our stuff in the lockers here. So I'll see you on the other side.
A few moments later.
All right, we finished. Went down into the tunnel. It was quite a ways down. Like we were going pretty steep down the whole time. It took probably like 5 to 10 minutes. And then once you get down past the steep part, then you have to walk in this flat part, which is the North Korean part of the tunnel. It's all pretty short, so you're like ducking your head the whole time. So it's not the most fun walking there, but once you actually get to the spot, it's like 3 different levels of walls. The first 2 have windows. The last one, there's no window. And between the first and the second wall, there's like a super bright light. So it looks like the sun almost shining down in there. Super cool. I think we were about 170 meters from North Korea. So didn't quite make it into North Korea, but in the future I will be. For now, got to be into the DMZ, pretty much as deep as you can get as a tourist here in South Korea. They keep it pretty secure. Like I said, you couldn't bring anything in there. I couldn't have even brought my phone if I wanted to because there's like the metal detectors and like guys like pretty much patting you down, making sure you don't have anything. Cool experience though, nonetheless. So we get to hang out here for another like 15-20 minutes. They got this monorail here, and she said there's like a movie something that you can watch over here. Oh, and then the garden over on this side that we'll get to check out, and then we'll go to the last spot. I forgot she mentioned there's like a photo spot over here, so we'll check that out. Photo zone. Right here, I think it's down where the tunnel begins. Oh, this is a picture spot. It's a line between North Korea and South Korea. Now, obviously, this isn't actually the line for North Korea and South Korea, but over here is actually where North Korea is, all the fencing here. And what's crazy is like all over the fencing here, you'll see signs that say like mines, because there's still, I guess, a bunch of active mines in the DMZ area. So it makes you even want to less try to attempt to cross the border. This is a nice, peaceful little garden here though. Yeah, I think we're taking off here soon. I don't want to miss the bus or else I'll be stuck up here, so we're gonna head back to the bus and then we'll be at the final spot of today.
Not allowed to go out here. Now here is photo zone.
We're here at the last stop of the day, which is the Unification Village. And there's like a farmer's market here too, and this is where you can get your souvenirs and stuff. We're only gonna be here for like 15 minutes. It's a cool little spot where I guess only like 400 people live. So we came in off that road and this little peaceful area here. We can't go into the village itself just because people are living there and kind of be disrespectful. But the souvenirs and shops are kind of inside here. Let's see if there's anything cool in here. It's like a cafeteria in here, I think. Yeah, let's see what shop looks like. A bunch of different knick-knack stuff. Ended up getting something at the souvenir shop. Not for me, but I got sold on this tea extract that's like super high quality apparently, so I'm gonna give it to my mom. And yeah, so ended up getting something at least. But now we're heading back to Seoul. So we're gonna get back on the bus, got like an hour drive back to the main station. And then we'll wrap up the video here, but it's been a great day, really cool time. And we're back in Seoul. Got dropped off at the Seoul City Hall and it's about half an hour walk back to my place. So yeah, let's just recap the tour today. It was really interesting getting to learn more about the history of North Korea and South Korea. Of course, we learned about it a little bit in America, but not to this depth. And kind of seeing the perspective of the South Korean people, it's different as well. Overall, it was a good time. Our tour guide was a super sweet lady. She's definitely like passionate about this type of stuff, and it's cool to see that. Everyone's super friendly, super welcoming. It's, you know, kind of crazy going in those type of areas, but even like all the military people, they aren't causing any problems. But I mean, we're just tourists, and that's such a big money maker for them. They don't want to kind of mess it up type thing. Would I do it again? Probably not. You don't really feel like you need to do this more than once. It's definitely something you have to do at least once if you're in Korea, but more than that, I mean, you don't really need to. Just kind of seeing the spots and getting as close as you can. And I mean, this is the only DMZ area in the entire world, so being able to be there in person is pretty cool. Not at any point did I feel like unsafe or anything. There's so many tourists there, and I guess a lot of Koreans will go up there just for the weekend, like kind of as a destination. Unique experience. Again, not necessarily something I need to do again, but I'm glad I did it, and you should definitely do it too if you're in the area. So now that I got a little bit of a taste of what North Korea is looking like, I can start planning out my trip to North Korea. I am slightly joking, but I do want to go there. I do want to go to every country's and see every perspective, so sometime in the future we'll look into that. But for now, guys, that's gonna do it for the DMZ tour and getting as close as you physically can to North Korea besides actually going to it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.